Hello, Wilson families. This video is going to explain the instructional delivery models that Pampa ISD will be offering all students this year. Pampa ISD is committed to providing a high-quality education through two instructional delivery models: in-person learning, on-campus classroom setting, the learning management instructional materials, and virtual learning, which is the virtual learning experience online, and a learning management system with instructional materials. Parents will be asked to commit to one of the two learning environments August 3rd through 7th. Side note, if you have not already gone online to pampaisd.net and made a commitment, we need you to do so. We are planning and need the numbers and who is planning on coming virtually and who is planning on coming face-to-face. So if you haven't done that, please do so as soon as you possibly can. So it is important to note that parents will need to wait till the end of each 6 weeks to transition to a different learning environment if you so choose. Parents will have to notify the school no later than 2 weeks prior to the beginning of the next 6 weeks if they desire a change. In-person learning is available for students in pre-K through 12th grade. Students will attend school on a regular instructional schedule and will engage in classrooms on campus all day, every day. All students, in person and virtual, will access learning materials and submit assignments using the learning management system on school devices. There are 4 rationale for this. The first, this provides alignment and equity for students' learning opportunities, grading, and access to resources for all students regardless of the learning environment. If and when a person or students move into a learning environment or a virtual environment, which could be due to an increase in COVID-19 cases, exposure, quarantine, or school closure, the students will have no disruption in their instructional schedule because they will already be working in the learning management system and are confident in navigating the system. By having all students work in the LMS, learning management system, we will limit the number of exposure risks from sharing documents, papers, materials, and supplies in the in-person classroom. Finally, we believe that asking teachers to design and plan for 2 very different learning environments is just not practical. Teachers will design learning through the learning management system for all students to access every day. They will conduct some traditional teaching activities in the classrooms and will be facilitators for all students as they take on more ownership of their learning through the learning management system. Expectations for coursework and guidelines for grading for in-person learning and virtual learning will be the same. Private devices will not be allowed on the school network due to cybersecurity and safety filtering restrictions. Implementation of preventative safety measures will be strictly enforced. Expectations for coursework and guidelines. Oh, sorry, that's the same one. Possible future change. Schedules are subject to change as in-person and virtual student enrollment changes. If we begin school with 80% of students face-to-face and 20% virtual students, then we may need to make adjustments to master schedules. Our plan is to publish schedules every 6 weeks. Once a student chooses in-person instruction as their learning environment, they must remain in person for the 6 weeks grading period before they are able to make a change in their learning environment. The only exception is that if one becomes necessary for them to quarantine due to illness or exposure. So I'd like to take a minute to introduce our new virtual learning platform, and we're calling this PAVE. It stands for the Pampa Academic Virtual Experience. This is also available for students in pre-K through 12th grade. Students will remain at home and will engage in learning activities on our remote learning system called Canvas. Daily student participation in the learning activities will be required. Each day, students will have to show engagement in order to be marked present in the form of progress through modules, completing and submitting work, and interaction with the teachers. The schedule will reflect time for independent asynchronous instruction and short periods of virtual support sessions scheduled throughout the day. Translation: your student will have time to work on this at their pace with some structured and scheduled supports in place throughout the day. But what you can expect is for your student to not be sitting in front of a computer for 5 hours on one Zoom meeting. That's not going to happen. Students will have to demonstrate engagement all 5 days each week via synchronous meetings with the teacher, progress in online activities, or submission of work. A caregiver will need to be available to support younger students in navigating the daily schedule and providing assistance with the learning as needed. Expectations for coursework and guidelines for grading for in-person learning and virtual learning will be the same. Instruction will be provided by Pampa ISD teachers. Remote learners will be able to participate in extracurricular activities both during the school day and before and after school. Remote students who participate in extracurricular activities must follow campus guidelines. Transportation will not be provided. Once a student chooses virtual or remote learning, they must remain online for the 6 weeks grading period before they are able to make a change in their learning environment. Accommodations and support services will be provided to all remote learners. Sufficient internet connection is required. I appreciate you taking the time to learn about our 2 systems for delivering instruction, our 2 models for delivering instruction. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'd be happy to help you.